Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Vegas 79, right? Is that one? 89, 69, 49, whatever fucking 9 we're on by now. UFC Vegas, whatever the fuck. We are back in the Apex, sadly. But whatever, what can you really do? Yeah, the good thing about it, like, we have an amazing card. Like, this card is really fucking good. Like, for an Apex card, this is a 10 out of 10. Main card, stacked. The prelims are pretty good and are decent. Just a solid card all around, so, yeah, for our first return to the Apex in a long time. Excuse me. This is a really good card. I'm actually shocked they put this and this fight and this card in the Apex. So I'm happy we're getting this card because, like I said, it's a great card and it's our last card before a 1 week break. So this is a great way to go into a break. So yeah, not really much more to say besides. Please like, comment, sub. 100 subs go by the end of the year. And as always, let's me to say something, which I don't think I am. Let's break down some fights. 11 fights in total. And we start off tonight in the women's bantamweight division, as we have Montserrat Monster Rendon versus Tamires Trattora Vidal. Interesting fight to begin tonight. A fight that I really don't know how to feel about the fight. So, yeah, let's talk about the debuting fighter, Montserrat Rendon. Rendon is making her UFC debut. As I said, she is 5-0 in her career. Yeah, none of her wins are special. Like a bunch of low-level fighters, 3-2, 4-4, 4-4, going to a split decision with a 4-4 fighter. Not the greatest look in the world. She's done a little grappling, which is actually a pretty good thing to see. Losing to Joanna Miller, Chili's fine on the ground. Yeah, I know very little about Montserrat. She is a boxer, which I do know that, which is good and bad to an extent. With this matchup, it's kind of a bad thing, but you never know. She is 34 years old, which is a little bit of a red flag, because she had her first pro fight at like 31, so yeah, that's not the greatest sign ever, but I think in the same breath, it isn't. It is because you're already in your mid-30s. But at the same time, it isn't because she's in her mid-30s and has taken like none of the damage most have had in their 30s, by their 30s. So yeah, I guess it's a good and bad thing at the same time. 5'8", pretty tall for the division. 6 to 8 inch reach advantage, so that's not bad. And overall, very interesting addition to the UFC. UFC obviously sees something in her to give her a fight in a with no contender series, have her off for a year, and yeah, no one pulled out. This fight's just been booked, and the UFC sees something, I guess. I'm very interested to see what they saw. And I'm very interested to see her in her debut. So, yeah, we're not much to say about Montserrat. Let's see how she does. She definitely didn't get an easy fight for her debut, because she is fighting Tamires Vidal. Vidal in the UFC is 1-0. Her debut was almost a year ago, which is a little crazy, against Romana Pascal, where she finished her in the first round, and she looked great, but finishing Romana Pascal does not say much. Pascal is a terrible fighter. but it has been almost a year since that fight, which is, I don't love that, but I'm guessing she's been injured or some shit. Well, like she's meant to oh yeah, that answers my question. Yeah, Vidal I think is a very interesting fighter. I think she's good. She's only 25, and I think she's a very interesting prospect from the 3.5 from the 3 minutes we saw of her in the cage so far. I think she's interesting to watch. And she's already fought a couple decent names outside the UFC. Fucking Carol Rosa in her second fight, so you can't be mad at that loss. She, from what I know, she was actually losing this fight until Aline hit her with a fucking downed knee, Piotr Jan style, I'm guessing. So that's interesting. I think this is another. Yeah, she's in PFL, so she's fought some decently named fighters, and when she fought a pretty bad fighter in her debut, she looked flawless. So yeah, but all is interesting. Definitely an interesting fighter in the 135 division, and in a division that is so wide open. Vidal's definitely an interesting fighter to watch, because I do think she's good. And I think this could be another showcase for her, or this could be a exposing of her, because she should probably win this fight, and if she doesn't, it's gonna be very interesting why. So yeah, I don't know. And yeah, Vidal I think is very interesting. The Bangers vs. fight have Vidal minus 250 to plus 205. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Vidal should win this fight. On the feet, she's probably better because she uses all of her striking, not just boxing. And on the ground, she's probably better. I know Rendon has done a little bit of grappling, but 2 matches ain't much. So yeah, Vidal should win this fight. My big concern when I saw how tall Montserrat was the height, but she's like 2 inches taller and the exact same reach, so that's not a problem at all. So yeah, Vidal should win this fight, and she is gonna be my pick for this fight. I really don't see how she would lose this fight. So she should win this. I think Rendon will give her a very tough fight. And maybe in the early stages, but if Vidal's smart, take her down. Maybe in the second round, get a feeling out, process, and see what's the best course of action. And yeah, just pick up a win, and I think she will. So yeah, right, not much to say. My pick for this fight is Tamires Vidal, and I think I'm gonna go by decision. I could see a finish, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. Yeah, I don't know. Not a very interesting fight to begin the night. Vidal is definitely a candidate for a lock of the night, but something is just giving me a weird feeling to where I don't want to call her in the lock. Not that Rendon could win, because she could, but I doubt she will. It's just, I don't want to call Vidal lock. It just feels weird. I don't know why. Usually I would. Not here, so yeah. But Vidal should win. It's definitely a more confident pick of the card. So yeah, I'm going with Vidal by decision. Gonna be an interesting one. After that, we go to our second fight of the night. We stay in the women's. We stay with the women's fighters, but we go down 2 weight classes and to a very weird fight that I still don't even know who I'm picking for this fight, but it's gonna be interesting. As we have Mizuki Inoue, if I said that last name wrong, I'm sorry, versus Hannah 24K Goldy. Very interesting fight between 2 lower level fighters, and you know what that means. Who fucking knows what's gonna happen? But what I do know is, let's talk about Mizuki. Mizuki in the UFC is 1-1 in her UFC debut 4 years ago now. She beat Inoue by split decision. Not a great win, and to win by split decision ain't great, but it was debut. Guessing on short notice, because was it on short notice? It was. Yeah, I was correct on that. So yeah, and she showed up and won. Yunan's a terrible fighter, so you should be beating her, but not by split decision. But it could be bad judging, you never know. And then in her second fight, her last fight she's had so far in her career, against Amanda Lemos, she lost by decision. Something you can never be mad at. Amanda Lemos is an amazing fighter. Yeah, giant step up in competition, but this was Lemos coming off her first win in the UFC, so yeah, it makes sense at the time. So, but yeah, giant step, like going from Wu to fucking Amanda Lemos is a pretty big jump. So, but Mizuki did it, and yeah, she lost pretty clearly, but I guess she had some moments from what I remember. I don't remember the fight too much. I don't remember this card because it was so shitty. But yeah, I remember the fight very little, but yeah, Lemos clearly won. And yeah, that was the last time we've seen Mizuki. She's not had any fights booked besides this one, and now she's finally back. Like, the main points to talk about for her is, again, the layoff. She's been gone for 3 years now. And is that good or bad? I think you always gotta look at the age when you ask that question. And for her being 29, I think it's good and bad. It's good because she has probably gotten better over those 3 years, especially since she goes to a really great gym. The bad thing is she's gonna be rusty. We'll see in round 1 of her knocking the rust off, but by round 2 she'll probably be fine and ready to go. So, yeah, I think she's a very fine fighter. Nothing too great about her. She's just there, I guess. Like, maybe she's gotten better. We'll see. This is definitely a fight where she should be able to showcase how good she is. So, yeah, it's very interesting fight, and like something good you can look at. Like I said with Vidal, she's already fought some pretty good competition outside the UFC. Beck Rawlings, fucking Karolina Kowalkiewicz going to the split, Alexa Grasso, which is aging very well. And one of her second to last fight before the UFC, a split decision with Jandiroba, which is very nice. So yeah, she's fought a lot of high level competition. She's fought fucking the flyweight champ, 2 ranked strawweights. So she didn't beat any of them. Like, her best win is, well, Beck Rawlings, but yeah, she also fought Alex Chambers, who was in the UFC too at one point. But yeah, not very much to say about Mizuki. She's gonna be, I really don't know, she's not gonna be the same fighter she was. She's either gonna be better, or she's gonna be really rusty. I'm very interested to see which is which, so, yeah, let's see how she does in her return. And to talk about her opponent, which there's a lot to say, I don't know if it's good. To talk about her opponent, Hannah Goldy. Hannah in the UFC is 1-3. Her 1 win is Emily Whitmire. Her 3 losses are Miranda Granger, Diana Belvita, and Male McCann. Sorry if that was loud. She is a very weird fighter. She's not too skilled. Like, if we're being honest, she's not skilled. Her striking is very, 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 very subpar. And her grappling is There's nothing to write home about with her grappling. Like, maybe she can catch you in a submission, but even that's fucking pushing it. Like, she's just not a great fighter. Like, when you get beaten by Miranda Granger in general, when you get pretty much outclassed by Diana Belbita, and then you got flatlined by, well, not flatlined, but you got finished by Maya McCann, as everyone predicted you would, but still, there are some problems. And your only win in the UFC was versus maybe one of the worst fighters in UFC history. So, yeah, you got that for you. Good job. Goldy, one giant problem with her, and this goes for a couple other female fighters, Aline Perez, couple others, OnlyFans, or shit, and like that. She has one, and hell, if you want to be honest, why has she been off for a year? Because she doesn't need to fight. She already has the bag. Now she's just fighting to fight. So, when I, like, of course, no fighter I think is 100% mind focused on MMA. But, like, I don't think Hannah, I think it's like a 50-50 for Hannah. And that's a bad thing, I feel. Like, if you gotta be, like, especially when you're not skilled. Like, someone like John Jones can be, like, more like a 70-30, 60-40. Because he's fucking John Jones. But someone like Hannah Goldy, who's not good, it's like, oof. I don't know. Hannah's a very weird case. I think she has potential, but she's just not good, so I don't know. I think this is gonna be a very weird fight. Interesting too. And yeah, this is probably Hannah's last chance also, so maybe she fights a little smarter, a little better, because if she loses this, she's probably gonna get cut. She'll be 1-4, and her only win was Emily Whitmire. So, and another side note, this is at strawweight. This is Hannah's first fight at strawweight since the Belbita fight 2 years ago, so I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think Goldy really should be at strawweight. She's a pretty big female, so I really don't think she should be fighting at strawweight, but maybe she can make the cut fine. She did for Belbita. Hopefully she does again. That is something I did not know till now, and I don't know how I feel about that. So that I think that does play a big factor also. So yeah. The bands for this fight have Mizuki minus 250 to plus 205. They've actually dropped from the last time I saw them. Mizuki was minus 350 last time I saw them. I think these odds are more realistic. I would have Mizuki minus 200. Main reasons of Goldy's not very good, and Mizuki's been off for 3 years. Besides that, yeah, Mizuki should be a good favorite. Is she a better fighter in this fight? Yes. Is she, even being rusty, can she probably still hang with Goldy? Yes. And I don't know. This is a really weird fight to break down, I feel, because I've been, like, kind of iffy on this fight all week on, like, how I feel about it, who I'm going with, but, like, really getting deep into it, I think it's, like, I'm a little more knowing who I'm going with, but I'm still not even confident, which is weird, so my pick for this fight is gonna be Mizuki. I think she should win. I think she will win. I don't really know how she would lose this fight. Don't get caught in a submission, I guess. She's gonna be better on the feet. She's gonna probably be better on the ground. And what's the size? 5'4", 5'3". Goldy will be stronger, but I don't think Goldy has a great gas tank, especially that cut to 115 is probably gonna really fucking affect her. So yeah, my pick here is gonna be Mizuki. Everything points her being the pick. Could Goldy pull off the upset? Yes. Do I think she will? Probably not. I think it's an 80-20. Like, Mizuki should, that what this is? Yeah, that's more 90-10. Mizuki on paper and on every area should win this fight. So my pick here is gonna be Mizuki. I'm gonna go by decision. I think she can win this fight. I think she will win this fight. It's Hannah Goldy. You should be beating Hannah Goldy. If Maya McCann, Miranda Granger, and Diana Bobita did, you should. So, yeah, not very much more to say. Very interested in that fight. After that, we head to our third fight of the night, our first male fight of the night, and it's a low-level heavyweight fight, which I think is worse than low-level women's MMA. As we have Jake, the prototype Collier, versus Mohammed, the motor Usman. Christ. Let's talk about Jake Collier. Collier in the UFC is 5-8. To talk about his heavyweight run, because his light heavyweight run is pointless. His 2 wins are John Vellante and Chase Sherman. His 5 losses are Tom Aspinall, Carlos Felipe, Andrei Arlovsky, Chris Barnett, and Martin Buday. For his 2 wins, he beat probably the only 2 fighters shittier than him. Jared Vanderaa and Josh Parisian also would be shittier than him. And for his 5 losses, nothing to be mad at. This was a close fight. He won this fight. You can't get mad at that. And Buday's match kind of decent. Like, to be honest, if the judges saw the fight a little bit differently, Jake could easily be 4-3 at heavyweight, because again, this was very close and he won this. And he really should be 3-3, because he won this Arlovsky fight. That was a really, really, really bad robbery. So yeah, but besides that, Collier is probably the best fighter out of the low-level heavyweights. Him, Parker Porter, Chase Sherman, Josh Parisian, Jared Vanderaa. Is that all of them? Yeah, I would say so. He is probably the best, and that's not saying a lot, but still, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, he's okay. Before he gasses, he's not a bad fighter. Like, when he still has gas in the tank, he's not that terrible. But I actually think with it, like, if he wanted to go back down to light heavyweight, he could. But yeah, I think he would do okay, but he clearly just doesn't. So whatever. Collier's a very okay fighter. Nothing's great about him. Like, his power seems very subpar. His grappling is not. It's literally just, I'm huge, so you can't get up. His gas tank is 3 minutes, maybe 4. He's just not that good. So yeah, there's really not much to say about Jake. Hadn't already been said. Like, he's had his moments. Like I said, he has 2 wins, or really should be 3. But besides that, what can you do with Jake Collier? This is probably his last chance. It should be, but knowing the UFC, he'll get another fight for some fucking reason. To talk about the opponent, Mohammed Usman. Mo in the UFC is 2-0, his 2 wins, Zach Pounga and Junior Tafa. He did win the Ultimate Fighter. He then knocked out Zach Pounga, which he looked fine on the Ultimate Fighter. This was a close fight that he could have won or lost. And this was a really close fight that he could have won or lost. But then he shows up against Pounga. He loses round 1 pretty clearly, but then he knocks him out, so I can't get mad at it. To be honest, Mo Usman ain't very good. He doesn't have 10% of the talent of his brother. He's just not that. He's literally riding the coattails of Kamaru, which, are you shocked? No. His striking is very bad. His wrestling's fine. He's a strong dude. His gas tank's pretty bad too. It's just not many good things to say about Mo. He is 34 also, which is not a good thing. Yeah, he did beat Junior Tafa, which that win is aging good, and it's gonna age well. But even then, it was a close fight that you could give to Tafa, and B, Usman was hurt really, really bad, and without takedowns, he would have lost. Got knocked out, so, yeah. Mo's a really weird case. He's not that great at all. Like, when you think he would be, your brother is Kamaru Usman, you think Usman would, teach you how to be a decent fighter, but he doesn't do shit. Like, and he goes to Force MMA, which has fucking talent out the goddamn ass. So, well, whatever, man. Whatever, what do I know? Yeah. Mo's a very weird fighter to break down because he really does not have many positives. He just has a good last name, which is the only reason he's in the UFC, so whatever. If you keep betting at first fight, I have Mo Usman minus 170 to plus 145. I would have Mo a big favorite. For as bad as Mo is, I don't see how he loses this fight, to be honest. Like, Collier is terrible. Like, on paper, Mo should win this fight pretty soundly. Striking, better. Power, pretty even. Wrestling is Usman without a fucking shadow of a doubt. So, Mo should win this fight. The main question is, does he? I think yes. He's actually my lock for the night. I think Mo should win this fight. I think he should be a bigger favorite. I think he should be minus 200, 250. What does Collier bring to the table here? 3 minutes of a gas tank? I'm not worried about it. Like, as much as Mo sucks, he should win this fight. So, my pick here in my lock of the night is going to be Mohammed Usman. And I'm going to go by decision. Could he finish Collier? Yes, I could see him ground and pound or maybe clipping him. But most likely he'll just win a decision. So, yeah, I'm going Mohammed Usman by decision. Very confident lock for the night. Just don't fuck up. It's not that hard. Got pretty fucking easy win. Just take it, dumbass. So, yeah, not much to say. After that, we head to our fourth fight of the night, which is going to be a fucking snooze fest. As we have Jacob Mamba Malkoun versus Cody Brundage. Oh boy, I don't want to watch this fight. Let's talk about Jacob Malkoun. Jacob in the UFC is 3-2, is 3 wins. Abdulrazak Al-Hassan, AJ Dobson, and Nick Maximov. His 2 losses, Phil Hawes and Brendan Allen. To be honest with you, first of all, Malkoun's only in the UFC because of who he's friends with. He's best friends with Robert Whittaker. And second of all, he's a terrible fighter. He's just a wrestler. He's a boring fucking wrestler. Like, he's trash. Like, if you look at his wins, he laid on Abdul, he laid on Dobson, and he barely beat a one-legged Nick Maximov. So, yeah, not really much to say. He's just... Malkoun's trash, a guy I definitely am not a fan of, never will be, and I think he's a fucking bitch, so, yeah. But, he's lucky, he's fighting Cody Brundage, so I have nothing to say. I know why they gave him this fight, because Malkoun was meant to fight 2 other dudes, but they pulled out, so they called Brundage, and they're giving him one last chance, sure, but let's be honest, he's gonna get beat again, so, yeah, not much to say. The bias fight, I have Jacob Malkoun, minus 485 to plus 360. Yes, I agree. My only concern in this fight is his really dusty chin. Besides that, he should win this fight. Striking, it's very cool. I would say it's a little close, but Brundage is a better striker. And on the ground, it's Malkoun by a mile. Also, Malkoun has a 10 times better gas tank. Brundage has a dog shit gas tank. So, yeah, not really much to say about this fight. I'm going Jacob Malkoun by decision. He's going to wrestle fuck him for 15 minutes and get a win. So, yeah. I wish Brundage would knock him out. That'd be fucking amazing. But it ain't gonna happen. So, yeah. Jacob Malkoun by decision. Very little to say. Don't get clipped, stupid. After that, we head to our co-main of the prelims, and this fight's going to be amazing. Could be fight of the night, but because we have a banger between the Dirty Bird, Tim Means versus Andre Fialho. This is an interesting fight. Both guys need a win. The loser gets cut. Let's see who gets the win they need. Let's talk about the Dirty Bird, Tim Means. Tim in the UFC is 14-12-1. I'll talk about his last couple fights. He's on a nice winning streak for a minute, being Star Pooley, Mike Perry, and Nicholas Dalby. But then he hit a wall. He fought Kevin Holland and got beat. Shocker. That's okay. He fought Max Griffin and got beat soundly. This was a terrible decision. And then he fought Alex Morono in a fight he's actually doing good in, if I remember. He's winning, doing really good, but then he got caught in a guillotine and lost. So, yeah. 3 in a row. He has one last chance. Can he capitalize? Means is not that bad of a fighter. His striking is fine. His grappling is He has a very okay fighter. Nothing too special about him. He is 39 years old, which is a giant red flag, switching to welterweight division, and it is showing that he's 39 years old. He is not that, he really cannot go that well anymore. Like, his 3 losses you can't get mad at. Holland is a really good fighter. Max Griffin's a great fighter. Morono, he got caught. And like his last couple wins, Mike Perry's doing great outside of UFC. Dalby's on a run right now, so he has good wins. But he's aging and it's showing, and this could be the last chance. So, like, this is a winnable fight for him, though. This is a very, very winnable fight for him. So I'm interested to see if he can get the win here. He could. I won't be shocked. But he's gonna need to really pull one out. Pull a really good performance out of his ass for this one. So, yeah, not very much more to say. To talk about his opponent, Andre Fialho. Andre in the UFC is 2-4. His 2 wins are Miguel Baeza and Cameron Van Camp. His 4 losses are Michel Pereira, Jake Matthews, Muslim Salikov, and Joaquin Buckley. For his 2 wins, Baeza really fell off a cliff and Van Camp's trash. For his losses, he stepped on short notice, didn't look too good. Jake Matthews just channeled something that night, I will never know. Salikov beat the shit out of him, Buckley kicked him into a new realm. Yeah, like, I respect him for having 5 fights in 2022, but yeah, he's not very good. He's just a pretty basic boxer. He has good power, but when the going gets tough, he will quit, or he'll just get finished, so, yeah, he's not really that great of a fighter. Like, he's just very subpar. Like, nothing really sticks out about his talent, because he doesn't really have much. Like, to be honest, his name really got put on the scene knocking out James Vick, which who hasn't done that shit, so. Yeah, he's nothing special about him, like I said. I think he's very whatever. Like, if he loses this fight, he's gonna get cut, and he can go do good in Bellator or whatever, so. I don't know. Fialho's a weird fighter. His ground game is very whatever. His striking is just weak at times, and he's definitely prone to just mentally getting defeated before physically getting defeated, so, yeah. Not much to say. The betting odds for this fight have Andre Fialho minus 200 to plus 165. I disagree. I'd have this a close fight. I'd have Fialho like minus 130 to plus 120. He should be a favorite, but by very little. Can you really trust him anymore? I don't think so. And Tim Means is a fucking dog. He'll go in here and have a fucking fight. Win, lose, or draw. He's gonna go in here and test Fialho, and I don't know if Fialho's gonna be able to handle it. Maybe. You never know. You never fucking know now, do you? Yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be a fun fight. Bare minimum, win, lose, or draw. This is gonna be a really fun fight. So, who am I going with? Fucker. I'm going Andre Fialho. I trust him a little more. He's 10 years younger. He's been off. Yeah, I'm going Fialho. I feel more confident in him. Could I see Means breaking Fialho and winning? Of course. Do I think he will? No. I think Means will probably get his chin clipped eventually in the fight and he'll get knocked out. So, yeah, that's what I think will probably happen. So, yeah. That's what I'm going to say is going to happen, and that's who I'm going to pick to win. I'm going Andre Fialho, and the only question is how. I'm going to go knockout in the second. Yeah, that's what I feel confident. I feel confident in a second round knockout. I think he can fucking clip him sometime in the second and send him to the Shadow Realm. So, yeah, I'm going Andre Fialho by knockout in the second. Let's see what happens. Not much more to say. Hopefully he doesn't fucking just crumble again like he has. Like, yeah, no more to say. And now to talk about the featured prelim, a very fun benchweight fight between Miles Chapo Johns versus Dan the Determined Argueta. Let's talk about Miles Johns. Miles in the UFC is 4-2 coming off the Contender Series. His 4 wins are Cole Smith, Kevin Natividad, Anderson Dos Santos, and Vince Morales. His 2 losses are Mario Bautista and John Castaneda. His 4 wins are all fighters he should beat. None of them are good fighters, and his 2 losses are two real good fighters. And actually, somebody didn't know, he beat Andre Yanez in his last fight before he got in Contender, so good for him. That rematch would go differently. Miles Johns is a very okay fighter. He's like one of the most mid fighters you can get. Is he a bad fighter? No. But is he a great fighter? No. He's just mid. Like, he's gonna be able to beat these nobodies. But he's never gonna beat a Mario Bautista, a fucking, even like an unranked, like a Davy Grant or someone like that. He's just not gonna do that. But he can beat these cans, like Natividad, Morales, etc. So, yeah. He's a fine fighter. His striking is good. His ground game is okay. He's a very okay fighter, to say the least. He's nothing special about him, but he's okay. He can get wins. He can get wins, but not against top level guys. He's very beatable, and it's shown in his losses. Talk about his opponent, Dan Argueta. Argueta in the UFC is 1-1-1. Hero should be 2-1. In his UFC debut, he stepped in on short notice and fought Damon Jackson. He got beat, but he put up a great showing, almost finishing him in the 3rd round. In his first real UFC fight, that was on short notice, he destroyed Nick Argueta pretty soundly, easy win for him. And then in his last fight, a couple months ago, he got robbed of a win against Ronnie Lawrence because Keith Pearson's a fucking idiot. Yeah, this rush, he had him in a deep guillotine that he was going to submit to, but again, Keith Pearson's a fucking idiot. Argueta is a very good fighter. I think he's very talented. He has a good gas tank, his striking's decent, his ground game's really good. He's a very solid fighter. He's 30 years old. He has a lot of talent. He goes to good gyms. He's just a really solid fighter. He was on Tough also. He lost to Ricky Torcios. But we all know Ricky Torcios on Tough is a different fighter than who he is in the UFC for some reason. Yeah, I think Dan's a great prospect in division. He's a very, he's very good. It really shown that Damon fight up a weight class, might I add. He did that up a weight class. He's a bantamweight, and he actually looked very natural at 45, which is weird. But yeah, up a weight class. He gave Damon Jackson a fight. So yeah, he ever since moving back down, he's gotten 2 wins. So yeah, not much to say about Dan besides that he's a very solid fighter, and he needs that one dominant win against a good fighter. Ronnie was gonna be that, but stupid. This guy's a nobody, so let's see if he can get a win against Miles, because that'll be a huge win for him. If he can get that, then we can start talking about how good can he be and how far can he get. I think Dan's a great fighter. I think he had a lot of potential, and I think he's getting better each fight. So I'm very interested to see how he does in this fight, and I'd step up in competition. Let's see how he does. The betting line for this fight, I have Dan Argueta -190 to +160. Yeah, I agree. He is a better fighter. I think he's a better fighter, and I have more ways for him to win. So, yeah, on the feet is close, but Miles John's I would say takes it, and on the ground is Argueta, no question. So, yeah, not really much more to say. My pick for this one is going to be Dan Argueta. I think he should win this fight and just wrestle. So, like he did against fucking Argui. So, yeah. So, not much more to say. I think Dan's going to wrestle his way to a 30-27, maybe 29-28. And, yeah. Could Miles Jones clip him or keep it on the feet and win? Of course. But do I think he will? No. So, yeah. Argueta by decision. Those are prelims. Very okay prelims. We got some interesting fights. Some fights that could be good. Some fights that will be bad. So, all around some interesting shit. But now we're going to our main card, which is stacked. And we begin it with a fight that could be fight of the night. I'll say that for a couple other fights on this card. Because it's true, this card's just stacked with bangers. And we begin with a banger. As we have Charles Jourdain versus Ricardo Carcina Ramos. Let's talk about Charles Jourdain. Jourdain in the UFC is 5-5-1. Not gonna go over his whole UFC career, gonna go after his last couple fights. In his last 5 fights, he's gotten some good wins and taken some losses. He destroyed Andre Ewell. He destroyed Lando Venata. He had a very weird fight with Burgos, but Burgos fought like a bitch, so barely count that as a loss. He got completely destroyed by Nathaniel Wood. Jourdain's a good fighter. Wood is just levels above. And then in his last fight, he completely just made a mockery of Kron Gracie. He beat this shit out of him like it was nothing. Cause all Kron did was fucking try and wrestle. He had never ever tried to actually strike cause he had no chance to, so yeah. So Jourdain's coming off the biggest win of his career. And maybe the best. So Jourdain's on a nice roll right now. Jourdain's a very solid fighter. He can fight smart and crazy. The Ewell fight, he fought smart but crazy. The Gracie fight, he fought smart. So when he's fighting smart, he's really good. But he also can fight crazy. That's the great thing about him. He can do both. If it calls for a smart win, he's gonna do that. If it calls for a crazy win, he's gonna do that. So he's just a fucking entertainer, and he's a very entertaining fighter. He's a decent fighter. He's not a bad one. He's just very okay. So, yeah, not very much more to say. I think Jourdain speaks for himself. To talk about his opponent, Ricardo Ramos. Ramos in the UFC is 7-3. Not gonna go over his whole I'll talk about his wins. His wins are the main ones: Ayman Zahabi, Kung Ho Kang, Journey Newsome, Fialho, Danny Chavez. His only losses are Saeed Nurmagomedov, Lerone Murphy, and Zubair Tukhugov. So he's only lost to a great fighter, a decent fighter, and a lightweight. So yeah. And his wins, Fialho is a good win. Ayman Zahabi's aging better and better. So yeah, he's got some good wins. And he's a good fighter, like coming off an insane knockout last year. Like, Ramos is a very entertaining fighter, and he's a very good fighter also, a lot like Charles Jourdain. So this has fireworks written all over it. Yeah, not very much to say about Ramos. He's been off for over a year now. He's meant to fight earlier this year, but he missed weight badly, but now he is back. So, yeah, hopefully he makes weight. Yeah, very fun fight here. Striking-wise, I think Jourdain is better if they have to fight smart. If it goes into war, it's anyone's fight. On the ground, Ramos is better. But I don't really see this fight going to the ground much. I think Jourdain's probably gonna stop a couple takedowns and just have a brawl like he always does. So, yeah, really not much more to say about this fight. I think this is gonna be an amazing fight. Could be fight of the night. Yeah, the betting odds do have Charles Jourdain -135 to +115. I agree. Like I said, I think they have him to fight smarter will help Jourdain here, because I think we'll have to turn to a smart fight at that point. I think he will do better. So, yeah. And my pick for this fight is going to be Mr. Air Jourdain. I think he just does what he has to do to get the win. Fight smart. Fight at range. Like, he has, well, actually he's shorter, but he really likes that deep kick to the body. And just fight smart and get the win. So, I'll always pick Air Jourdain. But this ain't even a biased pick. I really do think he's gonna win. So, yeah. Charles Jourdain by decision. After that, the fight I'm most hyped for on the card, because I'm a giant fan of one fighter, as we have a welterweight banger up next between Bryan Pooh Bear Battle versus AJ the Ghost Fletcher. Very, very great, fun, entertaining fight here. Let's talk about Bryan battle. Bryan in the UFC is 4-1. His wins: Gilbert Urbina, Tresean Gore, Takashi Sato, and Gabe Green. His only loss is Renat Frochnikov. Yeah, Bryan's a great fighter, and he is getting better every fight. Like, if you look at him on Tough till now, he's gotten better. And like, yeah, he looked good on Tough, and Petrosky's a great win, but then you look at the Urbina fight, he looked fantastic. Yeah, he got beat up at times, but he looked great. Gore, it was a really good fight, but he got the win. Sato, he killed him. Gabe Green, he fucked him up. The only blemish on his record in the UFC is Renat, but dude, Renat's gonna be a top 15 killer. So, really not much to say about that. And he stepped in on short notice, no less. So, yeah. Battle, I think, is really getting better, and as he does get better, I think welterweight better get more worried, because I think Battle's a really good fighter. His striking is very good. He has really good power. He has good fight IQ too. His ground game's decent. He can get a submission if he has to. He's no fucking slouch on the ground at all. Like, he's a very good fighter. And as he gets better, more people are gonna know that name and start seeing it climb the ladder at welterweight. So yeah, he's only 29 years old, and he's only going into his 12th pro fight. So yeah, he's definitely still pretty spring chicken, and he's just a great fighter overall. So yeah, not very much more to say about Bryan battle. To talk about his opponent, AJ Fletcher. A very interesting fighter, in my opinion. AJ is 1-2 in the UFC, coming off the Contender Series. His one win is Samba Gorimbo in his last fight. His two losses are Matt Semmelsberger and Angel Losa. I think Fletcher's a dude with a lot of talent, but he's very green. Like, if you look at his 3 fights, Summersbury was a great fight, but Summersbury was just able to use his veteran experience to get the win. Then, against Losa, he just got gassed really badly. I'll blame it on the Salt Lake City fucking altitude, because I think that probably was it. But he really did gas bad. But AJ is a fine fighter, so you can't get mad at that. And then in his last fight, he beat Samba Gorimbo as he should, and he looked great. So yeah, and his gas tank looked fine, and he just looked great overall. In a fight he should have won, he did win. So yeah, Fletcher again. I think he's a very underrated fighter. And I think he's a very good fighter. He just still is green. If he's 26 years old, he's only going into his 13th pro fight, so he's gonna get better, and I think when he does, he's gonna be an interesting fighter. Like, I think he has a lot of potential. Like, but again, he's green. He's been off for some time now, like since February, so he's had time to get better, and I think this is a giant step up for him, a giant test for him. This is the best fighter he's fought in his career so far, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm very interested to see how AJ does here. I think this is gonna be a real test for him, and this is gonna tell you a lot about both guys in this fight. And I'm very excited for this fight. I think it's gonna be very, very, very interesting. The betting after this fight do have Bryan Battle at -195 to +165. I might move him down a little bit to maybe -170. I don't love Battle being that big of a favorite because there are ways AJ can win this fight. If we're talking striking, Battle's probably a better striker, but AJ might have power. And AJ's no slouch striking. AJ's a pretty good striker. On the ground is where I think will be really interesting. Strength, I think, goes to Fletcher. Ability on the ground probably goes to Bryan Battle. Yeah, I'd say it probably goes to Battle. And then submissions probably goes to Battle just because he's such a bigger dude. So, yeah. This is a very interesting fight. I really think this could go many ways. So, either guy could get knocked out, either guy could get submitted, either guy could win decision. Just which do I think's gonna happen? I am gonna go Bryan Battle, of course. He's one of my favorite fighters. I'm not even biased for this fight. I would pick him anyway, but I am going to go with him in this fight. And how do I think he wins? Fucker. I'm gonna say cunt. Decision. He could get a finish, but AJ is tough to finish. He could get a submission. I feel safe with going decision because I really don't know when or where he could finish AJ. So I'm gonna go Bryan Battle by decision. I think he wins. I think he's a better fighter right now, but I don't know how I don't see him submitting, or I don't see him knocking him out. I don't know if he submission subs him. So yeah, I'm gonna go Bryan Battle by decision. That could change. I don't know, but right now that's what I think I'm gonna go with. So that's what I'm gonna say right now. Bryan Battle by decision. After that, one of the most useless fucking rematches of all time, as we have Marina Rodriguez versus the karate hottie Michelle Waterson-Gomez. Let's talk about Marina Rodriguez. I'll talk about Marina, and what I'll do is I'll talk about Marina just like I did with Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann. I'll talk about them only since their first fight. So Marina is 2-2 since the first Michelle Waterson fight. She beat Mackenzie Dern, she beat Yan Xiaonan, and then she got finished by Lemos and got destroyed by Jen Europa. Yeah, her career is really going down the drain. Like, she's 36 and it is starting to show. Her grappling, I swear, she just does not fucking train it for some reason. And her striking is still really good, but when you're on your fucking back getting taken down, it doesn't fucking matter how good your striking is. So, yeah, Marina's a very frustrating fighter. She has a lot of talent, again, she is 36, and her ground game is just very terrible. So, the good thing she ain't fighting a wrestler in this fight, so, yeah. I don't know, Marina, this is her last chance. If she loses this, then it's either retire or get cut, so, yeah. To talk about her opponent, Michelle Waterson, since the Marina fight, she has won 0-2. And to be honest, she should be on a 6-fight losing streak. UFC fucking loves her for no reason. Well, actually, I know the reason, and it's fucking stupid. She's overrated. She's not that good. She's, 37 years old, and she's a shitty fighter. Lemos subbed her. Luana Pinheiro beat her. She's a terrible fucking fighter. Like, I've never really liked Waterson because she's not good, and UFC tries to push her as like a good fighter when she's fucking terrible. So, yeah, hopefully this will be the nail in her career coffin, because no one on earth wants to see her ever fight again. So, yeah, she fucking sucks. Nothing more to say. The bad guys first fight have Marina Rodriguez minus 305 plus 245. What were the first fight odds? 220. I would have them about the same, if not maybe a little bigger. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Marina's gonna win again. On the feet, she's way better. On the ground, even then, Marina's better. Michelle Waterson's fucking terrible. And let's be honest, if I had to say who is the better fighter in their first fight till now, it's still Marina Rodriguez. Waterson has somehow got worse. She's gotten 2 years older, and she's just not a good fighter. So, yeah, my pick here is the same as the first fight. Marina Rodriguez by decision. Let's see if she can follow Anthony Smith's footsteps of winning a rematch that is fucking useless. Marina Rodriguez by decision. I hope she can get back on track, because I really like Marina, and I think she has a lot of talent. So, yeah, Marina by decision. After that, we head to our great co-main event of the evening. Bryce, Thug, Nasty, Mitchell versus Dan, 50K, E-Gay. What a fight. Let's talk about Thug Nasty. Bryce Mitchell in the UFC is 6-1, his 6 wins. Tyler Diamond, Bobby Moffett, Matt Siles, Charles Rosas, Andre Fili, and Edson Barboza. And his only loss in his career and in the UFC so far is Ilia Tapoya. I'll give him benefit of the doubt for this fight. He did say he was sick. Fine, if you were, you were. Even if he wasn't sick, I still think Ilia probably beats him. But, you know, I don't know. Thug Nasty's a weird fighter. I think he's really good, but I don't know. Like, of course his ground game is one of the best in the division. We don't need to talk about that. His striking is what it's like. I'm confused. Is he a good striker? Is he a bad striker? I don't know. He's not a terrible striker. Like, he has that Khabib striking to where it's just good enough to where it sets up a takedown, which is what every wrestler should have. It makes wrestling so much easier, you fucking idiots. Like, Bryce has weirdly decent striking, and it makes no sense. Like, he fucking dropped Edson Barboza. So, what's that tell you? I don't know. He's a weird fighter. And I think this is a real last chance for him already. If he loses this fight, it's going to be really bad. Because he should win this fight. Danny Gay's a step down from Ilya. About the same level of Edson. Like, Bryce is what, 30? He's only 28. I thought he was older. Like he's talking about how he's a cash cow now. You gotta win this fight. You gotta. If you lose this fight, yeah, who knows what happened. Like, he's already pretty low ranked in the division. I think he's like 13th, 14th. If he loses, I won't be sure if he ends up unranked, because if you lose a fight you should win, then a lot of questions start to spark up. So, I like Bryce a lot. I think he's a cool dude, entertaining to hear talk, and he's a cool fighter. He needs this win. We know his wrestling's great. We know his striking's okay. Can he beat Dan Ige? Now, to talk about Mr. Dan Ige, Ige in the UFC is 9-5. Not gonna go down his whole career. Gonna go down his last 5 fights. He lost to Zombie, he lost to Emmett, and he lost to Evlaev. Can't get mad at those losses. And then he bounced back with killing Damon Jackson and Nate Landwehr's hype. He's a bona fide gatekeeper at this point, there's no debate. Like, his last 3 wins are gatekeeping unranked guys. So, that's all he does, and that's all he's good at. He's not a good... I think Danny is a kind of overrated fighter. Yeah, he's a good striker, yeah, he has good power, and that's about it. The wrestling's terrible. And his best win is what? Nate Landwehr? This was a robbery, and then who else has he beat? So... I'm not too sold on Danny Ige. Never have been, never will be. He's 32 years old. He's taking a lot of damage. Like, he's already back really quick after Nate Landwehr fight. So, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Ige's a very weird fighter, and I don't know how he does in this fight. Striking wise, he's a way better striker, way better power. But when he goes to the ground, I don't think he can hang with Mitchell in the slightest. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting fight that answers questions about both guys. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Bryce Mitchell minus 160 to plus 135. I agree, Bryce should be a favorite here. I think this probably goes a lot like the Ige-Evlaev fight. Mitchell will just be able to hold Ige down for 15 minutes and get a win. He should. That's all he should do. That's all he needs to do. Do that. You're a better wrestler. You should get him to the ground, get the win. So, yeah, I think Bryce can and will do that. Not very much to say about this fight. It's a great fight, but I think it's going to go to the ground pretty quick into the fight, 3-4 minutes, and Bryce is going to do what Bryce does. So, yeah, not really much more to say. My pick for this fight is, of course, Sug Nasty Bryce Mitchell, and I'm going Bryce by decision. I'm very interested to see how he does bounce back after his first loss, and, yeah, not much more to say. Bryce Mitchell by decision. And now, to end off the card with the main event of the evening, a fucking banger between Rafael Ataman Fiziev versus Mateusz Gamrot. This fight's going to be fucking great. Let's talk about Fiziev a little bit. There's not very much to say, because, like, A, who doesn't know Rafael Fiziev, and second of all, what do I really need to tell you? So, Fiziev in the UFC is 6-2. His wins: Alex White, Mark DeCasey, Moicano, Bobby Green, Brad Riddell, and RDA. His 2 losses are Magomed Mustafez and Justin Gaethje. We already know Fiziev's one of the best lightweights in the world. And yes, he is coming off a loss, but it's Justin Gaethje, man. So, he put up a decent fight. Like, yeah, he got beat pretty clearly, but he put up a fight. Give him that much. He's an amazing striker, one of the best strikers in the division and in the UFC in general. He's just a really great striker. Good kicks, good power, good everything. He's just a really solid fighter, one of the top lightweights in the world. He's only 30. He's coming off a loss. He's going to be hungry for that win. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he does in this fight, coming off that loss and all that. So, yeah. But we already know he's one of the best in the division. Let's see how he does in a step down in competition as he fights Mateusz Gamrot. Gamrot in the UFC is 5-2. His wins: Scott Holtzman, Jeremy Stevens, Diego Ferreira, Arman Trashukian, And Jalen Turner, his loss is Guram and Benny. To be honest, he really should be... He won this fight. This was a robbery. This was a close fight. Like, the bad thing for him, like, he should have 4 wins, no doubt. But then you have a very close fight that most people think was a robbery. A very close fight that you could give to Jalen Turner, and he lost to Benil, dude. What the fuck's wrong with you? So, he really could, if you're being honest, he could be 4-3 in the UFC if you give this fight and this fight to the other guy, which you really can. So, yeah. I'll be honest, like, no disrespect to Gamrot, he's a great fighter, but I think he's a little overrated. Like, yes, he's a good striker, and his ground game's great, but if we really look at his fights, like, he beat up 3 pretty weak fighters, then he had a really close fight with Arman, but Arman won that fight. And then he got destroyed by Dariush, which is a terrible look. And then he had a really close fight with Turner, which ain't, like, having a close fight with Tsarukyan and Turner ain't a bad thing. But let's be honest, Tsarukyan's way better than him, and Turner is about the same low as him, so... I just don't think, like, when we talk about lightweight, do you really say Gamrot's name in the same conversation as Rafael Fiziev, Arman Tsarukyan, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev? No. You say it in the same category as fucking, Grant Dawson, Jalen Turner, motherfuckers like that. At least I do. Like, he's good, like, let's be honest. Just here, he's not better than Tsarukyan. Dawson's about the same. Chandler's better. Just about the same. And he's better than Hooker. And yeah, of course he's better than these guys. But, like, I don't know. Like, if I was making the top 15, he'd be where he is. But he would not be... I don't know, and I'm not trying to hate Gamrot. I know this sounds like hate. I like Gamrot. He's a fine fighter. Nothing to dislike about him. But I just don't think when you look at the rest, when you look at him compared to everyone else in the division, rankings, at least everyone in the top 10-ish, he does not stack up. Again, when you look at these two, when you compare these two, does Gamrot really beat him? Can you really say with a straight face Gamrot's better? Can you say he's levels above Grant Dawson or Jalen Turner? Fuck. I don't think guys like Benoit Saint Denis are that far off from him. So, yeah. And then, don't even waste your time comparing him to guys up here. Like, Poirier's better, even getting up there in age. Gaethje would beat him, Charles would beat him, Islam would beat him. We don't talk about this loser here. So, I don't know. No hate to Gamrot, but it's just... When compared to everyone else, do you really think he's on the same tier as there? Like, if I was ranking lightweight, S tier would be Charles, Islam, Justin, and Tsarukyan. A tier would be your Fiziev, Poirier, Chandler, guys like that. And your B tier would be Gamrot, Dawson, Turner. Okay, so if you want to call me a hater, fine, but I'm not. I'm just being what I honestly think, so that's what I think. Now talk about this fight a little more. Of course, this is striker versus grappler. Fiziev's a 10 times better striker. Gamrot's a pretty clear better wrestler. If it's on the feet, it's going to be Fiziev's fight. If it's on the ground, it's Gamrot's fight. This is going to be an interesting fight. I think this could be a great fight. The betting odds have Fiziev minus 140. Yeah, I agree. I would have Rafael minus 150. Fiziev on paper should win this fight, and I think he will. If he keeps on the feet, he should be able to fight at a decent range and be able to beat Gamrot here. I think that's his game plan. I don't see why it wouldn't be. But if Fiziev is smart, he kind of put some of the kicks away. Because I could see Gamrot catching a kick and taking him down. He did to Tsarukyan many times. He did to Jalen Turner, I believe. Fiziev wants to keep this on the feet as much as physically fucking possible, and I think he will. Yeah, I just think Fiziev is going to show that he is better than Gamrot. I think he is. So, my pick for this fight is going to be Rafael Fiziev to win. He should win. Would I be shocked if Gamrot wins? No. Can Gamrot win? Yes. I could totally see a world where Gamrot, like, let's say Gamrot loses the first round, but then he rattles off a round or two of wrestling between. Let's just say Fiziev takes the first 2 rounds, but then his gas tank starts to fade a little bit. Who says Gamrot doesn't wrestle his way to a 49 to winning the last 3 rounds? It's possible. So Gamrot can win this fight, but I think there's less ways of him winning than there are Fiziev. Fiziev could clip Gamrot. I highly doubt it happens, but you never know. And he could win by decision. Gamrot, I guess, could catch him in a submission, but I doubt he will. Or he could fucking, maybe he could clip him, but I don't think he's gonna clip Rafael Fiziev. And he could win with decisions. This is gonna be a really fun, entertaining fight. I can't wait. But my pick here is gonna be Fiziev by decision. It's hard to pick a knockout here. When do you really think Fiziev could knock him out? First, second, third, maybe? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm excited. My pick here is Rafael Fiziev. Boom. That's the card. To go over my picks one last time. Tamires Vidal by decision. Mizuki Inoue by decision. Mohammed Usman lock of the night by decision. Jacob Malkoun by decision. Fialho by knockout in the second. Dan Argueta by decision. Charles Jourdain by decision. Bryan battle by decision. Marina Rodriguez by decision. Bryce Mitchell by decision. And Rafael Fiziev by decision. Yes, I know I have 10 decisions. Will some of them change? Maybe. Battle could be a finish. Usman could be a finish. But you know me, I don't rush, I don't force a finish pick. I don't think that's gonna happen, so yeah. But yeah, that's the card. Those are my picks. It's a great card. I cannot wait for you. You have 5 great main card fights with a decent prelims. You can't ask for much more from Apex card besides that, so yeah. I'm excited, can't wait. Gonna be a fun fight, gonna be a fun night of fights. And yeah, next time you'll hear from me is a recap of the card, Sunday 1 PM EST or Monday 10 AM EST. We'll see which one. But then you won't hear from me again until next Friday, not Friday next week. It'll be the first Friday of October, because I'll be breaking, because that's when the next card will be. And I'll be breaking down UFC Vegas 80. Sadiq Youssef and Edson Barboza. Yes, that's the main event for some reason. No, I have no fucking idea why. But, yeah. Not really much more to say unless I'm going to say something. I'm hyped for this card. Tell me what you think of the card, your picks, whatever you want to tell me down below. Please like, comment, sub. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. I know it's not going to happen, but I could dream. And as always, finally, hour and 13 minutes later, RX out. Pooh Bear battle.